Folks, a very good day to each and every one of you from the oil producing republic and the fire nation capital of the world, Guyana. Welcome below the belt, folks. Who vex, lose. Welcome to each and every one of you, and we hope that you guys have been having a great weekend. And as we would have advised, we hope that you guys are taking some time out for yourself, you know, before and after the podcast to just get some rest and relaxation and recuperation, even after a very, very hectic week. Folks, self care is very important. Self care is tremendously important for you and your mental health. Very, very, very important. Welcome to each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from around the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking this morning to Attorney at Law Darren Wade in just a little bit. And one of the issues we're going to be talking about is the Mudwata of Guyanese politics. It's a muddy water here, you know. The water here, muddy. The mudwater of Guyana politics and the emotionally distressed. And one of the things we've been talking about is cyber crimes, the cyber crimes legislation. That piece of legislation where everybody seemed to be very, very emotionally distressed. As soon as you type something on Facebook, they're coming after you. Soon as you say something, is the police by your door. It's what we becoming. What are we becoming? Then going after the big drug kingpins who shipping the 2 tons of cocaine to Belgium, the 1,100 pounds to the Netherlands, and such and so forth. But you make a statement on Facebook. See how quick them police by your door. Somebody emotionally distressed. Them boys can rob you in tongue. Them boys who come for the thing can rob you in tongue every day. No redress. You call somebody catfish or jagabat or trench crapo on Facebook. Right? You call somebody those kinds of things. And you see the police by your door forthwith. These are some of the issues we are going to be talking about during the course of our program today. But folks, that being said, how is the weekend going where you are? We know it is freezing cold in some parts of the world, and you guys have been sending us your photographs of the snow and so forth and such. We know the Jacobas and the trench crappos can't enjoy them kind of weather. They don't have the stamina. They don't have the fortitude. You understand me? To withstand those kinds of temperature. But for the rest of us, we know how to do it because we built differently. We are built for storms. Folks, wherever you're joining us from around the world, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. And we say, who vex, vex? Who vex, vex? That's what we say. Who vex, vex? It's a fire nation. We told you guys, you got two kinds of people. In this country, you got fight nation, you got fire nation. We're from the fight nation. The fires of the PPP continues. The fires of the PPP continue. Just this morning, a fire of unknown origin engulfed a portion of the National Shipping Corporation wharf. Just last week, was it? You had a big tail fire right in that section of the city. Right in that region of the city, that vicinity. It's a fire nation. Last week we reported a house went up in flames was that Charlestown, All Boys Town, 12 now homeless. A business place, Chinese owned on Regent Street, was engulfed in flames as well. It's a fire nation. It seems the more oil we pump in is more fire. Like this oil is fuel for the fire. Two kinds of people in this place. Fire nation, fight nation. Glensis, Mingo, Burn. I know you from the fight nation. Pace and power, Andrew Cosbert. I know Andrew from the fight nation. Brenda Braffett and Yonet Benjamin, and I see so many folks joining us today. Hundreds of you have already tuned into our international podcast, Below the Belt. Fires of the PPP. Since they came in, Lord have mercy. Mercy beaucoup. Folks, we understand. We just for your edification, we know what mercy beaucoup really means, the real interpretation. But for our purposes, in our own vernacular, mercy. Mercy. Who vex lose? Who vex lose? Lennox Anderson, we see you out there. Volme Wilson, Candace Smith, Alicia James, Candy Caesar, Irwin Don Cook, is it you? Good to see so many of you. Paula Mathis, good to see you. Anthony Hudson, how y'all doing this Sunday? Folks, irrespective of if you have to work, if you're home, whatever the vicissitudes of your life, find some time for you. You hear me? Be gentle with yourself. There's only one of you, and we want you all here, each and every one of you. We want you all here for a long time. Take care of yourselves. You understand me? Right? You and I crap out and gone like a trench crap out tomorrow. Another one gonna take we place. So we gotta be gentle with ourselves. Self-care. Right? Don't wait for nobody carry your no date, you know. Sometimes you gotta just dress up. You're gonna catch a movie by yourself. Right? If I want a good sleep, I go to the theater. A good 2 hours sleep. Uninterrupted, I just go to the theater. Right? You gotta treat yourself, you know. Take yourself out, buy a nice little ice cream. Some don't keep waiting for somebody who you know gonna stand you up. You understand? Treat yourself, self-care. Even if you have all of that, you got somebody who loves you and the family and all of that. Take care of yourself. Sometimes we just going, taking care of other people, and we neglect ourselves. Folks, look out for our morning show next week. Next week we're going to be launching another program, God willing, a morning program for you guys, because we know you guys have been asking for y'all want news and information, morning news and night. Y'all need to, you know, y'all licorice and craven for news and information. So look out for that tomorrow, folks. Look out for that. Ainsley Ben Morgan. Ainsley Ben Morgan. Good to see you. Chocolate chip Diddy. I got to judge this for myself if this is real chocolate chip or just something something else. A fraud. Chocolate chip Diddy, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see. Is it Elisa Durant? Elisa Durant. These are two powerful names. Very nice names. Elisa Durant. Right? When you got a name like that, you got real money in the bank, you know. Elisa Durant. Marsha Gordon. Good to see you, Marsha. Great name too. Very elegant, soft on the tongue. Musa George Rockel. Is it Rockel? Yes. Musa George Rockel. Good to see you. Tony Hack, Horace Thomas, Volme Wilson. Good to see all you fantastic, beautiful folks. Folks, you come on the live stream, share the live stream for us. Share the live stream for us so the other folks can receive this and valid and credible information. Good to see. You know, I want to say good morning to all the folks who help to produce our program. All of the hard-working people. I don't often bring them in the limelight. For obvious reasons. I don't often bring them in. I want to get besides yourself. I want to get too big for the boots. You understand? But to all the folks who help us produce our programs, whether it's the soon to be launched morning program, whether it's the midday program, this below the belt, whether it's the in the ring program. I want to say thank you to all of those hardworking people, all of our writers who help us to curate information for our affiliate entity, credible sources, all of those folks. We want to say thank you, guys. Thank you. And we're hoping that besides me walking y'all out for this 1 hour on Sunday, y'all got some self-care too. Folks, what y'all are reading, all of that is part of self-care, you know. All of that, you know, in all the research we do for this program and all the reading when the guys submit the information we're going to cover for in the ring or whichever other program we're doing, I still find some time to read other stuff that is of interest to me. I've been subscribing to foreign affairs. As a matter of fact, Kamaraj Ramjatan, leader of the Alliance for Change, gifted me a subscription of the Foreign Affairs magazine last year, and I picked up my own subscription for 2022. And that's one of the things that I read just for pleasure, just for the simple love of reading. And I know some of you caught up all year round with academic reading, like me, like other folks, and then you have reading like I have to do to produce these programs, reading for Parliament and all of that. But I love the sheer joy of just consuming the content of a book, just for the simple fact of being lost away in some faraway place in a novel, or ruminating with ideas outside of politics. I think everything is politics, politics, politics. We gotta have balance, balance yourself. Balance yourself. That's why he's so vexed at them boys, going after Mudwater, right? Because the I-9 need other forms of entertainment. Now they're going after Mudwater, right? Before they go after Mal and Molly, who thieving up you the people's money, the cash grant money, so on. Go after Mal and Molly. Who going after them? And for real world crimes and not cyber crimes. Who going after Mal and Molly? Right? Shout out, respect a man as Uncle Pone this morning. Respect a man as Uncle Pone. But who going after Mal and Molly? Is Mudwater these guys going after. And that is what we have become here. That is what we have become, going after people for the slightest thing. Soon as we thin skin get bruised, it's cyber crimes. Misusing, in my humble estimation. Right? I'm not a practicing attorney. Let me tell you, I read law. And I got a little understanding. A big people. But I ain't sure a big. But I ain't sure I got a little understanding. And I think, in my humble view, right? My humble view, when I want people to fight for me legally, I got a tremendous team out of Hughes, and Sobe. Some young, energetic, bright young people. Them girls bright. Y'all think Nigel Hughes bright? Nigel know why he sent them girls to the front. Them girls will show you up. Them girls from Hughes, and Sobe bright. Right? Those are my gladiators in the legal realm. In the legal arena, those are my gladiators. Them girls bright. But with my own limited understanding, a big, folks, I got my age. I only look like 30. 29, I mean. I only look so. A big, but I ain't stupid. My limited understanding suggests to me Susan Kanzias and Karen Gordon. Prince Hodiah and Volme Wilson. Right? I see somebody's name is effing middle name Jagger and last name Bat. Willy's out here, though. Fly Life at Tyler Wade. Folks, my wife has joined the broadcast. Right? She little bushy. She on YouTube. She's a tuber. Oh. Good morning, hon. I see you out there. Good to see you. Gladstone Matthews, good to see you as well. And Volme Wilson. Folks, I love having you guys during the course of the day, this midday hours. For me, I put my foot up and we talk to each other and we invite a guest and we discuss issues. To me, this is our own special time. In the ring is fast paced. You gotta keep on your helmet or you can get ice up and lash down. But below the belt, we tend to go a little slower and it's a little more easy going. Gavin Beresford, I see you there. Good to see each and every one of you. Folks, I'm privileged to have. Let me tell you all a story how I ended up doing law. I always wanted to do law, and I'm happy I'm going to have Darren joining us. Darren Wade, attorney at law, Darren Wade. This Darren? I know if Anil win anything yet, folks. I know if Anil win anything yet since they come to power. Darren is beating up Anil every day in the courts. I know if Anil win anything yet. Right? I know if it's something with that AG seat, like we got Jared, the seat, or something with it. It might not be Anil. I think Anil know one or two things. I give him that. I think you know one or two things. It might be the seat. You win nothing yet. Right? You got to change, perhaps in time, we got to change the whole designation. Right? It's no longer Attorney General. It's going to be like Ashley. Like an inconsequential post like what Ashley Singh got. It can be minister within the office of the president with responsibility for law and something. Hopefully, we get rid of whoever's the stigma on that seat for the AG. Right? You know, that's the way some people go. Instead of Instead of addressing the problem, they change the name of the business or something, and they come again. But we're going to be talking to Attorney at Law Darren Wade, and I want him to come on when I talk to him because I want people to say, I say, and I say, and I say, and it's things that I didn't say. So I'm going to invite uh, Attorney at Law Darren Wade onto the broadcast, into our live podcast, and we're going to take it from there on this topic of the Mudwata of Guyanese politics and the emotionally distressed. And Darren Bright, I tell you, Darren Bright.
Hello.
Good morning, Attorney at Law, Darren Wade.
Hello, good day, good afternoon.
You're live below the belt, sir. How do you do? Respect and manners.
Can you hear me, Sharon?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, Darren. Loud and clear,
thank
counsel.
you. Good afternoon, good day to you and your viewers.
Good day to you as well, sir. Good day to you as well. And we trust you having a good Sunday.
Well, Sharon, I came home to West Bobby's. You know, we all have relations here.
Yes, we do.
I just came in from church, and I thought, service was good, But then I went on Facebook, and Fabric News is carrying a story there for the road from Eccles to Ogle.
Talk to us.
Sharon, I'm so upset and annoyed because the engineer estimate for that road is 40. Now, this is according to Fabric News. Is 48 million US. And the highest bidder is an Indian company.
Mm-hmm.
It's 116 million US dollars, which is more than double the engineered estimate.
Oh, wow. Maybe it's a double-decker road.
Sharon. When the PPP is done with us, our children and grandchildren cannot live in this country. Another issue is whether or not the $48 million to build the road, and whether or not the other 48, they have 52 and 16. That's about 70 million probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's being used to import Indians to come here to work and to stay and live and to be and to go to PPP. I don't know, but it is disturbing, and I do hope that you politicians, those who are in parliament, will ask these questions. Why is it that the engineer estimate is $48 million and we give it to the highest bidder, a company from India? It is disturbing. It's upset me this day. However, I'm not here for that, but I must touch on that point so you know what is going on.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy you've brought that to our attention because this is the place we want to give credible and valid information to people, and the deductions you have made are quite reasonable, sir. They are quite reasonable.
Yes.
Darren, what our below the belt programs tends to be more easygoing than the fast pace in the ring. We're telling our viewers, and they recognize that. Let's start on an easy note. You said you would have been to church this morning. Which church do you go to? Which church?
Oh, I go to the St. Jude's Anglican Church, Litchfield. There's an English church.
It's the English church.
Yes.
Nice.
Litchfield, West Bobby's.
You know, all of us need a little God in us, especially them jacobats and the trench crabber. Need a little God in us. All of us need a little God in us. And Darren, especially in these times.
You know, Sharon.
Right
that's
ahead.
Imperative because I believe, and I was saying that to myself today, whilst I was in church, that if the PPP actors had a little God in them, the wickedness that they are doing to this land, they would not have been doing it. Because once you have that belief in you, and there are repercussions for your action, and you have that moral values, in no way that you would be acting in such manner.
Mm-hmm.
In such a manner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very well. You're gonna be good stewards of the people money, and the roads won't be costing twice the amount unless it's a double decker y'all billing with all kind of flyover, overpass, and that kind of stuff. You're gonna be better stewards of the people money, right? So great header.
Eccles to Ogle is not no big distance from the back.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to drive to Georgetown, it may seem like a long distance, but once it is cutting through South Rome, because you fly, and when you use the Ogle Airport, you will see soon you come over South Rumville, you're in Ogle. When you use the Ogle Airport, going to the interior and what have you.
Yep. It begs the question whether we got some Marlas and Mullies in charge of this operation here. because we know they hand sticky. Mal and Molly from Region 3 with the COVID cash grant and so. They hand sticky. So maybe we got some Marlins and Molly in the mix here. But with every Marlon and Molly, we understand that you got an Uncle Pone who want to do the right thing, who can speak out.
Mhm.
So respect and manners to all the Uncle Pones out of this morning. Respect and manners. Darren, I was talking a little bit about business early on before we get into the subject matter. And I was telling our viewers, and I wanted you to be here when I said it, how I got into reading law at the University of Guyana. Why y'all know we pass. We ain't drop out in second year like catfish. We study hard
Mhm.
and we pass. So I was an undergraduate reading communication studies and came much the same way that Darren came, did communication studies first, and then pursued law. I always wanted to do law, but never really knew what was my own pathway to reading law. And I remember Darren as a colleague reading for, I think Darren did communications for us, like me, and started a law program. And I remember a day I was in the communication center looking out on the catwalk, and there was Darren, always always, let me put it another way, always popular with the ladies.
Oh my. My wife is
Always popular
listening.
with the
Oh my.
ladies. And there was Darren chatting up some folks on the catwalk there. And I stepped out and I asked, I said, Darren, what is the grade point average to do law? And he told me, he says it's 2.8, but the higher the better. And that day I
Right.
decided I'm going to read law. I want to understand this thing because you understand in Guyanese politics, some people's got up the code step steady. And Darren told
Yeah.
me what was the entry requirement to do. And I started working towards that. I tell you, we big, but we ain't stupid. With my humble reading of this whole they call it cyber crimes legislation, all that, somehow I feel it's being misused. And we're discussing on today's program the mudwater of Guyanese politics and the emotionally distressed. That's our team. It seems like you can't say nothing on Facebook, and everybody really emotionally distressed and a little tense. I know if it's the COVID-19 and the variants Omicron and the Delta and the IHU and so on, thinning we out, right? Because I noticed BJ getting thin, like he drinking thinners, or is the maybe it's the variants. Everybody's getting thin these days. But as Mudwater said, Lord, the little fat that catfish train off, let go upon Papa Jagabat. Lord,
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
that oh Lord, that being said,
Oh Lord.
Darren, put in context this legislation for us. What perhaps was, as we said when we were doing it, what is the mischief the legislation was seeking to remedy? Talk to us about this whole issue here.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. So first, before I get the question, I'm happy that I assisted in some way or had some sort of positive impact in guiding you into the law program. That is important for us all
That is the
to have
point
some
I was
positive
wanting to
impact on
make, that we in this country, we got good black role models. I had one in
yes.
Darren Wade. Take the,
I'm
take the.
humbled. I'm humbled. Yes. I respectfully, Sharon. I believe this legislation was incorporated to protect those persons who are being attacked in Facebook. Persons are putting up the nude photographs, and it's causing them to some sort of shame. You're saying someone has some sort of virus, causing society to shun them.
Mhm.
It is not. I believe that is the mischief. You know, as you say, emotional distress. And respectfully, emotional distress must be something that is objective. It cannot be Charles Ramsoon saying that is emotional distress, and because he says he's of emotional distress, I am guilty of a crime. It cannot be that. There
Mhm.
must be some professional, there must be some tests, some objective tests, where the ordinary man, the man of the omnibus, the man in Borby's car park,
Mhm.
the man in Blackbush Polo, if they are placed in similar circumstances, they will be emotionally in distress.
Mhm. Mhm.
It cannot be subjective.
Mhm.
And this piece of legislation has been abused. I raised the point the other day with that girl, you could recall like a year or two ago, whereby the young lady was in a city hotel and then she was there with the man, and the woman came in videoing her on the
Yes.
phone,
Yes.
and then they place that on Facebook. That is what this legislation is there for. Those things,
Mm-hmm.
not you calling somebody a jagobat, and they're upset, they're mad, and instead the police force fight proper crime, they're using the wasting source state resources, incompetence, and total disregard for the Guyanese people and those people who are suffering from crime.
Mm-hmm.
They should be
Mm-hmm.
out there using those resources and this time to be fighting drugs
Mm-hmm.
and so forth, murder, robbery, not using state resources to score political points, set up political points for dissent, to clamp down on dissent. It cannot be that. What society are we living in today?
Yep. And it begs the question: why is it so easy that somebody can just walk off the road and go to a police station and say, somebody says something about me, I feel bad, and the police come and arrest you? And it seems
Mm-hmm.
as though, where the government is concerned, if you make an accusation against them, nothing ever
Mm-hmm.
becomes of it. Anybody who is in government or supportive of the government, nothing ever becomes of it, right? Which I think lends credence to this whole talk about politically motivated charges, which is what we saw
Mm-hmm.
with Annette Ferguson and Chris Jones and the others who were charged recently for the illegal procession and breaching something with the officer of the peace.
Yes, yes. Where Aneta was recently released, and the week before them, the other showman from Buxton, what's his name? He and the others were those matters was dismissed also, man.
Oh yes,
The
our
morning
colleague from
show
Buxton
Buxton.
Mornings. Hmm.
Yes.
It is a sad state where we are, but we have seen here instances after instances, and I'll just enumerate a couple for you. Instance after instance where the PPP has gone off after their political foes, or people who they deem to be not supportive of them. Instance after instance. You got a whole list of folks from GCOM. You got Kit Lowenfield, Roxanne Myers, Clement Mingo, Enrique Levan, Michelle Miller, Carolyn Duncan, Duarte Hetzberger, Dennis Bob Cummins, a whole host of folks. You got the Honorable Valda Ann Lawrence, Carol Joseph. We mentioned Chris Jones. You got Sidney James, who was the head of SOKU. And this is the way they've gone after them. As soon as you say something, it's a liable suit. Right now they got a liable suit with Basil Williams. Jack Dio, I think no, Anil sued Annette in a libel suit. That is before the court. Currently, there is one with Jai Paul Sharma. And then Annette sued them back too. Annette sued back Jack Dio, $20 million. But they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay Annette. And then we saw the prosecution, for instance, of BK. Them going after him with land deals and all kinds of stuff. Because they figured that BK was too supportive of the last administration. Always this kind of political, legal prosecution, as we discussed here in this program before, weaponizing the courts against the perceived foes and enemies. You've had Dr. Richard Van Charles embroiled in a case with them concerning Atlantic Fuels, his company there, and other matters. So it is not we saw what happened with St. Rose's High School, for instance, and Courtney Ben contracting services. It's a whole host of issues. Attorney Wade, Counsel Wade, they've gone after their foes, weaponizing the courts. And the latest being Mudwater. I know one other such person too.
But I see Mudwater as a card. I don't see Mudwater bullying anybody really and truly. To me, it's a little fun, sometimes you need a little laugh. And I think Mudwater give us that laugh in this political fair. And I think Mudwater could probably make a joke about you already, Sharon.
Yep. Yep.
And you're not emotionally distressed.
No, no, no. I made of sterner stuff. We on this side, we made of sterner stuff, my brother. You understand that? You made of sterner stuff, as Shakespeare said. We made of sterner stuff, and it's just this epoch, this era that we're in. There's a lot of thin-skinned people. I mean, we in the era of sorry, not we're in the era, but they were that era with Forbes Barnum and Chelly Jagan and those greats, right? The things that must have been said about them over that huge sweep of time. Right now, it's a little jackabat upsetting people. That's what politics has been reduced to. That's what this society, and you know, it has implications, Darren, because now I would say all of these other satirical franchise and so on. Gotta watch yourself. Gotta watch
Yes.
yourself. We saw what happened with the young man was Kunchi. A policeman stopped him, as he's rightfully. If you're in breach of the law, you're right. The policeman is in his right to stop you. But then you heard the undertones. Oh, it's you who's making fun of the police. It's you. Well, I'll teach you a lesson this morning. You understand what we're talking about? Everybody thin skin. When them guys rub me, I get a good laugh out of it. I get a good laugh out of it. God knows we need a little laugh in this country with the cost of living that's spiraling out of control. This is a coping mechanism, Darren.
But apparently, Papa Jagabat is the one who set the trend, you know. Never forget it was the Papa the little boy who put up his middle finger. Next you know, he was arrested at Pleasance. Can you recall?
Yes, I remember that. I remember that. Right? I remember that. You know, I often think about that situation and wonder if that boy was really arrested for imprisonment or it was for other purposes. That's another story. That one under the belt. the one, that one below the belt. That one below the belt. Maybe when the middle finger
Oh
was
my,
shown, he was excited. Somebody got excited. And he said, you know
oh
what?
my.
Give my contact details. You know, but I'm happy we're out of that era. Darren, you know, those were the dark times Martin Carter wrote about. Those were the dark times, but they seem that they want to take us back to pre 2015. Those dark, dismal days that historian David Granger, former president, His Excellency, rightfully termed the troubles. That's what we want to carry back to, you know. They're not prepared. A colleague of mine told me this. They are not prepared for the 21st century and the internet generation. They're not prepared. They think that this is some communist country, you know, some kind of thing like Russia or something like that. A repressive, that's what they want. They're not prepared for this generation. And the Guyanese people will continue to fight them. And that is why, and I
Fall
saw
in
you,
or fall out.
go right ahead, Darren.
Fall in or fall out.
Fall in or
Fall
fall
in
out.
or fall out.
And that is
Yes.
why I saw some comments attributed to you on social media yesterday where you know catfish that out here 7:30 every morning abusing people because people don't like his budget and been venting their feelings on social media. He come out abusing
Yes.
people.
Yes.
When he finished, I was emotionally distressed. But who ain't carrying me complaint to? Darren, where are we heading as a country? I mean,
You know,
you've been at the
let me
forefront
tell
of
you,
this fight. Where are we going?
Priya Manik Chan, right? Priya Manik Chan said on this guy honorable was what's his name page on Facebook. I can't remember his name. Anyway, concerning she don't believe that legislation has a place in modern society and so forth, you know. And I said, okay, I'm happy you have this position, but please tell that to your colleagues. And Priya started using me out on Facebook, calling me all kind of names, telling me how I supported the bill. And I said, Priya, um, if you have any evidence that I supported this bill, you know, please present it or apologize to me. Did you not or did you apologize then when she carry on and carry on? Today she cannot respond to me properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remind Priya of the legal maxim. I had to teach Priya, remind her of it, who's my senior. I said, my sister Bard, let us not forget the legal maxim. He who asserts must prove.
That's right. That's right. He who asserts must prove. Beautiful maxim. He who
Yes.
asserts must prove. And you know, there's another one to that. When they on the other side start talking about hurt feelings. You mentioned it. It's they who started with Jack Dio, talking about who is carrying crow. Describe journalists in this country, as carrying crow, who are idiots and hungry belly,
Got to
and
get
all
to
kinds
that
of
market
things.
place. Yes.
Right? Right. So you must come with clean hands when you want to be.
Oh yes.
That's the maxim I was going to. You must come. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Darren, I tell him we big, but we stupid. But my humble learning and reading a law, I remember a couple things. I can see them by saying, Duncan showing me up there this morning. Duncan remember something. I feel
Mm-hmm.
proud. I could hear uh, 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 criminal law lecturer. What's her name again? Miss Amsterdam.
Mr. Alexis Amson.
And say, oh, look we buy, Duncan. Downs Amsterdam. Folks,
Yes, yes.
this country, we're in a bad spot. I would love to see some of our law students too taking up these issue publicly, but they might be charged too for, offending people and all kinds of stuff.
Afraid. I speak to them on a daily basis, and they're afraid because the PPP is vindictive, and they want to build a career. Some of
Hmm.
them say they want to leave Guyana because of what is going on currently. They're saying that under the David Granger administration, they could have gone on Facebook and voiced their opinion without fear, without fear. But now, anything that they do, they have to be careful.
Hmm.
There's no freedom in Guyana anymore.
You are absolutely right. And we took for granted what transpired or what subsisted under the David Granger led administration. When we talked about the good life, part of the good life was freedom from fear and being able to exercise that. You understand, we had a government where we employed a man who'd cuss me out every day, then go and start your own party. And nobody never tried to lock you up, try to imprison him, you understand me? Earn money off of this government. Maybe we did too nice for 5 years. And then as the 5 year was elapsing, the man Becca Beeline went and started your own party, right? You feed people every day. One day you don't have food to give them. They're gonna break you down. You went and start your own party. But the rest is history because we know what to hear in the party. We ain't for them in a long time. That being said, those are the freedoms. And it's after I think it was Christopher Jones on the campaign I heard articulated it like like that. When we think about the good life for some people is just little running water, clean running water. We want much more than that. We want 25% salary increase or 50. It's just little clean running water. The good life for me, Darren, is walking in town with a little coin money in my pocket and being undisturbed. Them boys and coming for rob me my little coin money, a little sweet drink money. That's the good life for me. You don't have to walk around town with your hand in your pocket, looking wrong, looking wrong, looking wrong. All over. That's the good life. The good life we enjoyed was having little uninterrupted power.
The PPP must be reminded of the Arab Spring. It must be reminded of the Arab Spring because it's one man who decided to throw gasoline on himself and light fire,
Mm-hmm.
and that is what caused the Arab Spring.
The own Arab Spring coming. The
And the PPP
own
must
Arab Spring
understand
coming.
that they do not have the power in this country. Because if they do sociology and they have knowledge, they will know who have power in a country.
Darren,
And if they
after.
ought to be a rising up, if they ought to be a rising up, they should know. So they should as I think Cambridge made the same point, this point that I'm making here before. They ought to conduct themselves better. Let us live in one. Let us build this country together. Because they would not want a revolution. Because sometimes if the people decide to rise up, what is going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
If the people decide to take
Uh-huh.
action into their own hands, I could tell you, Sharon, on many occasions, sometimes people come to you and tell you all kind of story, and we have to tell them calm down.
Correct.
Sometimes we
Correct.
ourselves have to calm down the people.
Whole strain. Whole focus.
Oh, strain, don't do that yet. And the people, especially currently with the current opposition, they vex with y'all.
Yep.
Because they believe that
Yep.
y'all don't take it enough.
Because
They're
we
ready to
have
go
been
to war.
holding we have
But
been
the
holding
opposition
the
is saying, no, you're
deluge,
strain.
holding back the deluge.
And they don't know the great favor the opposition does do for them sometimes.
But
In the
but
sense because we don't want to put our people in danger.
Darren, I saw there's a rising in this country. There's a rising, and the people taking a lot for granted. When that budget was read, you see all this locking up of people misusing the cybercrime legislation, all of that. Backlash coming. When that budget was read, and people realized they ain't gonna let me have for poor people. You go through any website for news agency, go through news fumes, go through whoever else they have, Cranticle, whoever else they got, and you read the comments and look at the names. All them can be trolls. Look at the thousands of names and read the comments, and you can see PvP doing foolishness, backward, trench crappos, jacobats. You read it, there is that thing bubbling right below the surface. And we are one event away from a tipping point to become the South American Spring. Arab Spring,
Right.
the South American Spring. One event away. You see all these fire every day. You wake up, it's a fire. We must have the most fire per capita in the world. Is the more oil we pumping, right? Is the more we pumping, is the more things getting hot. It's pump and heat, pump and heat, pump and I've
Yes,
never
yes.
seen nothing like this in the world. Since August 2nd, 2020, we've been chronicling it. Every goddamn week is a fire. You don't need to cook on your gas stove and so because things tight. Or your carro stove. You just wait by a fire, you just go, you carry your thing and you can cook. You get fire. Hold on. Just hold it. Every goddamn week. Everything in shambles. Look what happened in the fire service. Big racket. How they can put out fire and this and disorganized? How? I saw some
Yes.
videos this morning. They're scrambling and looking for Maine. Right? We right next to a big river, Alibag there. And we can't get water on time to out of fire. Huh? How far is the police station from where the fire station from where the fire happened this morning? 500 miles? Jesus. Nothing in this country is working as it should. And that's how them
Nothing.
boys want it because there's a little of them hugging everything, all the resources, the corruption and stuff. Where we going, Darren? Where we going?
It's a sad reality. Our children are the ones who are going to pay for it. Because it's a phase, the PvP method is to borrow a lot of money and to print money as well. Borrow and to fill up your print, which could only result in inflation. And Sharon, I want to make a point. The PPP is talking about GDP growth. GDP growth doesn't mean that resources are reaching your people. What about our happiness index? Are our people satisfied with the standard of living? Where is Guyana currently on the happiness index? The United Nations happiness index.
I know we left on
How
the
our
corruption
people are
index.
feeling? Huh?
I know we left on the corruption index.
All of the improvements that we made with corruption is now gone.
Yeah. Yep. 1 year in.
Yes.
1 year in. And
Sad
corruption
reality.
is back.
Manning had made a point in Trinidad, and let me say that it is relevant to Guyana. Manning made a point that when the PNM in power, that they make governance seem so easy. And that Trinidad and Tobago is a hard country to govern. And it is
It's a fantastic point, Council. It's a fantastic point that you're making because it's a fantastic point you are raising because and people have said this on social media. We had 5
Can you hear
years
me?
of David Granger administration without the oil wealth, and we make it every year. Public servants got a raise. What happened now? What happened now, Darren?
I wasn't hearing the call drop for a second. I wasn't hearing it.
Yeah, no, you were making the point of what Manning said, and this is former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Patrick Manning. We are referring to
Yes.
the point that when the PNM is in, governance seems so easy. And I was reciprocating by saying, Granger, we had to be for 5 years and no oil resources to brace we, and we made it. Public servants got a
Yes.
little piece, everybody got a piece of the pie. But these
Manning
jacobats say only some boats floating. This Thailand floating all boats,
Manning
only some.
Manning saying that you could see how they the incompetence because they bias. The prejudice will show. The incompetence will show. The prejudice will show. Their friends, their auntie, their uncle, their nanny, their chacha, get work, get corruption. They can't help it. It's gonna show.
Molly and Marley, y'all name calling. Molly and Marley, y'all name calling. The corruption go show.
The auntie, the auntie, everybody got to get to the expense of the entire country. That's only how they know to survive and to rule. So, Sharon, the PPP in governance, I know they're going to fail. They have to fail because they don't know to govern properly. They're too corrupt. They cannot govern properly. It cannot happen.
Yep.
They're a stranger to good governance
Yep.
as they are a stranger to the truth.
Yep.
It's like no, it's like when they say nothing good can come out of Nazareth. What good can come out of the PPP, may I ask?
Yep. 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 Point stick. You know the Jacobats and the trenches don't want to hear this. The Jacobats and trenches don't want to hear this, Right? They're trying to replicate what is happening. You know something, Darren, what struck me? Look, you walk the streets of the US, engage with the systems of the US, and you understand, or as them Rastamen say, as we Rastamen say, we understand why them guys is a first world country. I saw an image this morning, Darren and listeners from around the world, that I say, we learning nothing. All Ali out there yesterday shouting at we, barking at we to accept this budget, as good medicine, as good bitters, we must drink 3 times per day for the next 4 years, right? To clean out the system. And we're not accepting it and we're not having it. And he's shouting and he barking and cussing me out early Saturday morning, like a Virago by Big Market. And we're not accepting it. Look what they're doing to City Hall, Darren. Cuss out
Don't
the
disrespect.
mayor, you
Don't
know?
disrespect Sharon. Don't disrespect the market people.
Well, my
They're not
apologies.
so low. Anyhow, carry on.
My my apologies, Council. I retract. But that being said,
Yes.
Jerry Bonasaro was coming like typical Jacobats and trench crappos that making a quick cleanup because I want to make an impression. All the signboards went up, millions of dollars spent that they didn't age too well at all. But the point I'm making, they're cussing out the mayor, looking to start a story, the propaganda, oh, the mayor got the city like this, that, the terror. I saw a photograph just recently with the mayor giving the US Ambassador Sarah Lynch a tour of the city. And that should be the mayor and Irfan. You understand me? But it's so stink, wicked, and dirty. You understand me? Instead of engaging meaningfully in how we can move this country forward, they rather stay across the island coast and says them. They're starving the city hall of resources. They get a tongue clag, they're doing their own thing. You understand me? Going to their behest and so forth. The council is right back where it was pre-2015. Right back there. And went back there in a hurry.
Uh,
And here is
all
here
right.
is here is Sarah Lynch
Let me
understanding
say,
how government should work. Right? Here is Sarah Lynch and the mayor touring the city side by side, looking to see how we could develop this place for all Guyanese. Not for some, because PPP people and APNU AFC people and every other party and no party people occupy and inhabit this city the same way. But look at a first world thinking. Ali yesterday telling we that he trying to bring we into the first world. Like we packle, we big, but we ain't stupid. But here is Sarah Lynch. You know we got we grievances and grouses with Chito. But we can pick it up another day. The point is, here is people from the first world taking a look at things we could do together. Right? And all Ali could do is you stay at Shipton Ranch and Japal Drive and you're shouting down Regent Street. Right? Shouting down Regent Street to Ubraj. A whole pack of nonsense. Darren. Council.
yes. You see, say religion is from a country of democracy of 300 of years plus, and they understand democracy and people governance that is people centered. Um, so they cannot say that we are not going to engage Mayor City Council because the mayor is the Mayor City Council, the government of Georgetown. And Irfan Ali cannot say that he's not going to engage the city. He's going to do his own cleanup and so forth. You see, the problem is, Sharon. and they were upset with Amanda when she made this point. The PPP is a party of dunces.
Mm-hmm.
They have limited intelligence in that party. All kind of garbage you will say and they will believe you. But let me say this, Sharon. Whenever you go to the shop and you buy a bottle of water, you buy an aerated drink, you pick up a plastic bag, you buy groceries. Instead of those monies that you pay, the price, you pay a environmental tax. And that environmental tax doesn't go to mayor and city council. The environmental tax goes to central government. So all of the garbage that you're seeing in Georgetown, it is not only the mayor and city council, and yes, they have a role to play, but central government has a major role to play in keeping the country clean. And that is why Anand made that point.
Correct. Correct.
And not only the citizens of Georgetown use Georgetown because it's a capital city. Thousands of people visit Georgetown every single day. And what is the city getting for that? For those persons who are visiting Georgetown and are using the resources of the city, those persons are not taxed. And sometimes I believe that is unfair to the citizens of Georgetown to be carrying this burden. While persons coming from the west side every day, thousands, from the East Bank and the East Coast in the thousands, and the city people who live in there have to offset these expenses. The central government must play a more integral part, and it must be with it all.
Point
It
taken.
must be
Point taken.
working together in unison for the development of the city.
Point
But that is
taken.
them.
Instead of the government using the time, to go after people for cyber crimes because you said something that they didn't like that particular day because I would roll out of bed. This is what you should be doing. Meaningfully engaging the system to the betterment of all the citizens of Guyana. Right? Whenever you have a plane coming, they don't say they're going Cherry Dragon, they say they're going Port Georgetown. A ship, Port
Yeah,
Georgetown, they're going. Right? People visit cities, they don't visit countries, they visit cities. And we have to pick up the city from where it is and move it forward. They couldn't even pick it up from where Granger had it. They had to carry it back to 2015
Sharon,
for pre-2015 and then bring it forward. Every
but you
day.
raise Sharon, you raise an important point there. And there is why the PNC and Apnwise in power deserve some licks. Because when you look at the budget 2022, how many thousands of people living in Georgetown? Over 100 and something thousand.
Mhm.
And you look and see where the investment going in there, where all the investment gone. Look at the budget. Where is the PPP investing money on this budget? Where the people of Georgetown is benefiting?
Mhm. Or any
Where are
other
the
or
developmental
any
programs for the
other
people of Georgetown?
or any other real estate that is supportive of APNU AFC, any other geographic location in this country that's supportive of APNU AFC, you wouldn't see any big investments there. You wouldn't.
Nothing for Georgetown in the budget, basically, what it is. How much money they're spending? You do a comparative analysis. How much one person in Region 6 is benefiting from this budget, and you compare it to how much a citizen in Georgetown is benefiting. It's easy maths. Look at the budget, see how much billions is being spent in Region 6, see how much billions is being spent in Region 3, and you do the maths and see how much per dollar is going to the citizens of those regions compared to Georgetown.
Yep. Yep. That's
That
the
is the
sad part.
reality. I said the point. Manning said the bias is going to show. Manning said the prejudice is going to show. The incompetence must show. They cannot do better. It is in their DNA. They can't help it. Corruption.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is it, plain and simple. That is it, plain and simple. But at the end of the day, we gotta sit down at the table of brotherhood according to MLK. We gotta sit down at the table of brotherhood. We gotta put the ideas on the table that can move this country forward. Beating people over the head to accept the budget won't help us. Cussing people out early a Saturday morning, after you had a hard week at work, won't help we. right? But it's sitting down and wading through the issues, making the tough decisions. That's how we gonna move this country forward, just like the Americans, right? You see what happened there with the insurrection at Capitol Hill. But did you
Hmm.
see Biden saying, I will not engage them until they recognize? They got lots of Republicans don't feel Biden is the legal president, right? But that don't stop Americans from supporting the different legislation that is for the development of the U.S. Since Irfan gone in, he's still waiting for Harman. Now you can wait for Norton to say he is legal. He's still waiting. He any feelings, emotionally distressed. Emotionally distressed. He's still waiting. And Americans gone on rebuilding infrastructure. You see a bridge fall along somewhere in the US the other day. Biden says this reinforces the fact that we got to bigger build, rebuild and rehabilitate our infrastructure, put Americans to work. Right? Catfish still sit on here saying, I got to be recognized as the legal president. And the Republicans and the Democrats fighting, they're fighting each other. There was a fight nation too, fighting each other, but finding common ground to move the country
Yes,
forward.
you're correct.
Finding common ground.
Ab-
And we hear Warren. Because he recognizes this, and somebody calls somebody a jagabat, and you vex, and you thin skin, and is emotional distress. And now the guy with Mudwata, hunting down a cartoon character, right? Who livens up this country and they should listen to me. Council Wade, they should pay in Mudwater. They should pay in Mudwater a little subsidy and a little subvention for being a healthy distraction from the nonsense that they have
Yes,
as a government, right? For
you're
being a little
absolutely correct.
comic relief and helping for ease we burden. They should give Mudwater a little subvention when the month come and say, "By you're helping we distract them," right? Instead, look what they're doing because it's a thin skin, right? Well, last you see any one of them at any one of these what you call them, nothing to laugh about. Go and sit down and listen to yourself being caricature. Oh, yeah, it's a thin skin. God, man, Jesus. What politics come to in this country? Eh? Even in the religious texts, them prophets and so on, that tough skin. And politicians out here they fight on the forefront. Suppose they got tough skin. They want to call you all kinds of names. I tell people I get called all kinds of names all the time. Homosexual, anti-man, this, that. Thief, the side thief, chronicle money, this, that. If I go after all these people, what time I've done to my own life? There's a thin skin. And these are the same set calling you the names, Council, the same
Yeah,
set. But when you
yeah.
return the favor, emotional distress, right? Emotion. They come up in good times. They come up in good times. That's the problem with them. I grew up seeing, I didn't recognize a lot of things, Council, until I got older. I grew up knowing the had was my mother, my sister, and I for a long time. I went to bed with two tennis rolls, wake up and my sister had one, I had one, and I never considered what my mother had for breakfast.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
majority of my life, I live under the PPP.
Hmm.
The majority of my life, I live under the
Yeah,
PPP. You understand me? For a huge portion of my life, my mother was overseas. Hustling is when I became a big person, right? And I got to contend with the people. Now I got to decide for myself, you know what? I can stay and fight these jagabats and trench crappers, or I can fly out like everybody else and try to make a better way for me sharing them.
wow. You know, I when I was at law school, the teachers I said, Guyana in the 70s and 80s had brilliant, outstanding academics. But somewhere in the early 90s, they all left
Yep. Yep.
under the PPP. A
Yep.
lot of skills left. People left this country under the
Darren,
PPP.
there are more people living in the diaspora that are Guyanese than in this country. Look, when
Yeah.
when when you're passing by that piece of real estate, what is it called that? That has with the embassy, US embassy, whatever the street is, Duke
Yes.
Street. If y'all
Duke,
pass me
yes.
there and see me in a line, don't ask me no questions.
Hmm.
If y'all go around the corner where they got the Canadian embassy, y'all say stand up there, don't ask me no questions. Drink your water, mind your own business. Right? Wherever you embassy, if you are passing, you say something, don't ask me no questions. Just drink your water. This thing's tight here, It tight. Wait, what are your thoughts to Guyanese this morning? We're on the cusp of this nonsense here, heading into another period of hardships in this country. What do
I
you
think
tell
I think
Guyanese? I mean,
now more
what do you
than
tell
ever.
your family? You have a
I
young,
think
beautiful daughter, a young, beautiful wife. What do you tell them about the future of this
you see.
country?
I think now more than ever we need to unite. I think all hands need to be on deck, whether or not you're from the religious society, political, whatever sphere you're in. Sphere, you will need to unite. Need to come together and move this country forward. Coming next elections, we also need to unite more. I think it cannot be Arby Norton. It cannot be the PNC. It cannot be the AFC alone. Every religious organization, everybody need to come together and work to ensure that these jagabas don't get back into government.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start working on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get our foot. We need to start engaging members of society. We need to engage civil society, all of the organizations, the NGOs. And I see credit to Arby Norton since he got into government, he became the leader of the PNC. He started meeting persons. We need more of these meetings.
Yep.
We need to meet friendly
Yep.
organization like ACTA, Ep.53. We have the sort of friendly organizations. We need to go into communities and so meet community leaders.
Yep.
And in this day and age, we have what is called influencers, social media influencers. We need to meet these folks. I'm not talking about critics.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people we need to know to go to.
Yep. 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 Point taken. Point taken, Council. Point taken. I want to thank you for the time you spent with us today. I think we're just over program time. And I know we've been talking here, Darren, about finding some time for self care and being gentle with ourselves. And I'm going to, as we wrap up the podcast, how do you find that time? I know you're in the forefront of lots of the major cases locally. Fantastic lawyer, bright attorney. How do you and your family find some time for self care and that kind of stuff?
Sometimes it's very difficult for an attorney because these cases are always on your mind. You're cooking, you're preparing dinner. They're always on your mind. And then wife got to pull you up. I think I have a wonderful wife who when I go home in the evening will tell me, ensure you go and talk to your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is
Mm-hmm.
very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
To go and speak to her because sometimes she may want to speak to me, and because of me being busy and I'm thinking about the case in the morning and I'm tired and so on, I usually miss those moments.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very difficult. It's very difficult. You know, take a drive up to West Beach now and then, and I relax with my family here. It's always good because this is home, and it's always this welcoming, homely feeling that you get whenever I'm here in West Beach.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we're happy that you eke out that kind of time. And I have the same. I have the same interaction with my son when I get home in the evenings. It's at the back of my mind. The public needs my time, and I've spent the day with them on the different programs and meeting them in person and so on. But my son and my wife need some of my time too. That's important for all of
Yeah,
us. All of us. Self care, time with friends, time with family. Don't get too consumed every day by the politics, by work in general, but finding time for all the things in life that matters. Attorney at law Darren Wade, I want to thank you for the time this morning as we waded through the topic of the Mudwata of Guyanese politics and emotionally distressed. Thanks for sharing your vast intellect and to giving guidance on these issues with us
Oh,
today.
thank you very much, Sherrod, for having me. I mean, the good Lord bless you, keep you and protect you, Sherrod, and your family. To
Yep.
carry on.
Well,
Guys,
Darren, before I let you go, let me talk about another piece of our business. A couple weeks back, you made the point just after one of my shows. You said we gotta pray for Sherrod. And I think some people may have misconstrued that, right? But I knew what you meant, and lots of folks knew what you meant. The following day, I was arrested, and
you called me. I remember
I called you
you
that night
called
after
me
the
the first
program.
day. I remember you called me the following day,
Yep.
and I was in isolation. So if they didn't see me with you, they don't understand that I was incapable of being with you.
Yes. Yes.
But I did
Let
work, though. I
let
did
me
work,
let
as I
me
tell the entire team.
yes, let me say that Darren is the first person I called when I saw a policeman outside my gate. The first person I called, but because of the fact he was incapacitated at that time, things turned out the way they turned out. But he's the first person. Thanks to him, things turned out the way that they turned out. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for all of
All
your
right.
help, sir.
Thanks.
A fantastic day to you and the family.
You too, James.
Folks, and that's our program for today. That's our program for today. Thanks for being below the belt. Who vex lose? Who vex vex? Folks, share the podcast before you go. I know you guys were engrossed in the conversation. I see the comments there. I see you. Guyanese spectator. Who's Guyanese spectator now? I want to know who's Guyanese spectator. Gladstone Matthews. Who's you? Who's Guyanese spectator? Gladstone, do you know who's Guyanese spectator? I see this name here now. This is new to me. Jennifer Bob, good to see you. Ainsley, Ben Morgan, good to see you guys. Share the live stream, and we want you guys to smash that emoji button as well. We know y'all getting engrossed in the conversation. Y'all are like, yeah, welded to it. You can't get your attention. You know, a lot of people tell me we breaking up families. We wonder. We might break it up for the hour, but y'all make back up after. Make back up after. Folks, that being said, thanks to each and every one of you for being part of our podcast. And you know we've been depending on you for the last 5 or 6 months or so since we've started, since we've opened our platform to receive donations and contributions. Because the thing is growing and we have to engage more people and more services and resources to manage all of it. We've opened the platform for you guys to help us. We understand the climate we're operating in. You think they got people who we have tremendous goodwill with. But because they know how vindictive, wicked, stink, and dirty the PPP is, they're reluctant to advertise with us. And that is why we depend on you, the people, for your contributions to keep us going. We have several platforms available for you to contribute to the program so we can meet our monthly obligation. And folks, just to give you a sense before you guys run away, just to give you a sense, this week we're launching a morning program. We have the In the Ring program we're managing. We have this program we're managing as well, the Below the Belt program. We are going to be bringing back on stream our the Whip program, which focuses on our parliamentary work. That is coming back. And we have credible sources as well. All of those are affiliates, and all of that is part of the ITR universe, the ITR family of programs, all for your benefit, all geared to bringing you valid and credible information at different points in the day. And there's a weekend program we're going to launch a little later on in the year as well. A weekend program that's compatible with Below the Belt on the weekends like this. And all of that, folks, means that we need more people on board. We need more resources. We need more services. The lighting company, GPL, is a service we have to pay for. The internet is a service we have to pay for. Our researchers, our writers and reporters for credible sources, our affiliate, all of that has to be paid for. Um, the sad part of it is things tight in this country, and things you're going to get for free, you no longer can get for free, right? And we want to be able to say to people, you have a skill, you're helping us in this area to curate news, information, and so on for the general public. Here's a little stipend, here's a little honorarium, here is something, here's a bus fare, here is a little lunch money. You know, things is. And that is why we ain't building no houses and mansions, we ain't buying no cars. Every cent that is contributed goes back into the programs, goes back into this work that we're doing for your benefit, for our benefit, for the people of this country's benefit, and those of you in the diaspora internationally around the world. It's for your benefit. And we love doing it. It's a labor of love, a labor of love. So we have several platforms available. We got the Cash App platform. Our Cash App handle is the dollar sign in the ring 592. Our Cash App handle is the dollar sign in the ring 592. And we also have our PayPal and Zelle platforms. Our PayPal and Zelle platform is the same is the same email rather. The same email for both platforms, the PayPal and Zelle. It's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. That is our email address for both Zelle and PayPal. And then we got the local cash app, the Guyanese cash app, we call it MMG 627 696 3 is our number there, 627 6963. And as you know, we're available via MoneyGram, we're available via Western Union as well. Our MMG number is our WhatsApp number. If you need any guidance, WhatsApp us 627 6963. 627 6963. That's our program for today. Folks, Tuesday, the first day of February, look out for our morning program. We'll be on at 8 in the morning for about an hour or so. From 8 in the morning on Tuesday, the 1st of February. Look out for our morning program. Look out for it. Look out for it. All for you folks. It's a labor of love for each and every one of you. Amanda Daniels is a labor of love for you. Penelope Howard for you. Wanella Garnett is a labor of love for you. Glensis Mingo Byrne is a labor of love for you. I know what this guy needs spectator though. Look a little strange. It's the first time I've seen this name guy. Karen Garden is a labor of love for you. You understand me? Betsy Watson, it's a labor of love for you, what we're doing. Find a way, folks. Find a way to partner with us. Don't run away with the tax that in the ring has got thousands of viewers. We must be getting 10,000 US a month. Folks, find a way to contribute to the program. Somebody sent us $1,000 via MMG yesterday. Folks, that lit us up. It's the little things for us. That lit us up. You understand me? Find a way to contribute to the program and help us to keep growing. So look out for our morning program as well on Tuesday, the first day of February. We're getting set to launch that, our morning program, and we continue with our regular programming in the ring, below the belt, credible sources, the whip, such and so forth. Guys, thanks for being here. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Take some time for self-care. Be gentle with yourselves. Stay safe. Stay safe. See you guys tomorrow, right back here below the belt. And then we are going to have our evening broadcast in the ring. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe and be gentle with yourselves. Thanks for joining us. That's our program for today.